the name of our God, I ask you to have mercy upon the people in our country who are scared now. There are gay, lesbian, and transgender children in Democratic, Republican, and independent families, some who fear for their lives. And the people who pick our crops and clean our office buildings, who labor in poultry farms and meat packing plants, who wash the dishes after we eat in restaurants and work the night shifts in hospitals, they may not be citizens or have the proper documentation. But the vast majority of immigrants are not criminals. They pay taxes and are good neighbors. They are faithful members of our churches and mosques, synagogues, wadara, and temples.
For a while, it seemed like Donald Trump's presidency was going to be one in which everyone he encountered immediately bent the knee to him. The mainstream media, the corporate class government officials, all instantly capitulating to Trump. But today, we saw something different, because in a post-inaugural church service, a bishop did what was so desperately needed and stood up to Trump, asking the president to do something he's never done in his life and consider other people's humanity. Now, this is a moment that has gone incredibly viral, as you'd expect, and Donald Trump was seething in anger the whole time. But afterwards, Trump was asked about this sermon, and his response was also what you'd expect. Anger lashing out in attacking the bishop, and we are going to get into that meltdown from Donald Trump. But before we do, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video, and if you haven't already, and you enjoy our channel, to hit that subscribe button. It goes a long way, and it really means the world to me now. Before we get into Donald Trump's reaction, of course, I want to play this mega viral clip, and then we'll check out his meltdown.
Let me make one final plea, Mr. President. Millions have put their trust in you. And as you told the nation yesterday, you have felt the providential hand of a loving God. In the name of our God, I ask you to have mercy upon the people in our country who are scared now. There are gay, lesbian, and transgender children in Democratic, Republican, and independent families, some who fear for their lives. And the people who pick our crops and clean our office buildings, who labor in poultry farms and meat packing plants, who wash the dishes after we eat in restaurants and work the night shifts in hospitals, they may not be citizens or have the proper documentation. But the vast majority of immigrants are not criminals. They pay taxes and are good neighbors. They are faithful members of our churches and mosques, synagogues, wadara, and temples. I ask you to have mercy, Mr. President, on those in our communities whose children fear that their parents will be taken away, and that you help those who are fleeing war zones and persecution in their own lands to find compassion and welcome here. Our God teaches us that we are to be merciful to the stranger, for we were all once strangers in this land. May God grant us the strength and courage to honor the dignity of every human being, to speak the truth to one another in love, and walk humbly with each other and our God for the good of all people in this nation and the world. Amen.
What an important moment so desperately needed. and you could just tell how angry Donald Trump was at the notion that he is president, the God King that he thinks he is, should consider anyone else but himself. And what a brave stance, a profile and courage from that bishop in their own church to stand up to Donald Trump. Just so incredibly impressive, so incredibly important, and really showing everyone else what courage looks like and how you can stand up to Donald Trump. Nothing was said that was out of place. Nothing was said that was offensive. Of course, everything is offensive to Donald Trump. But what was said is consider the humanity of others and have a little bit of a heart. Now, I don't know how far that's going to go considering it's Donald Trump, but it was certainly important to do so. Except Donald Trump didn't think so. He immediately melted down. After and when was asked about the service, he said this.
Mr. President, what did you think of the sermon? What did you think of the sermon? What did you think of the
What did you think of the service?
What did you think? Did you like it? Did you find it exciting? Not too exciting, was it? I didn't think it was a good service, no. Thank you very much.
Thank you, press. Thank you, press.
They can do much better.
Thank you, press. Inside. Thank you, thank you.
Not good. Not exciting enough. Not great. That was Donald Trump's response, clearly holding back. But I think that bishop, unfortunately, just earned themselves a spot on Kash Patel's enemies list, because Donald Trump only likes Christian values when those Christian values get him out of trouble or help him sell Bibles. But when considering the humanity of others, when treating your neighbor like you'd want them to treat you, is what Christian values are. Donald Trump is not really such a fan, and this is not the only example of people going against the values that they claim to have that actually happen today. Because Donald Trump's representative, his nominee to head up our delegation to the United Nations, Elise Stefanik, was asked about a certain action taken by Elon Musk, a sigil that he threw up yesterday. Yes. We've all seen this incredibly gross, and when Elise Stefanik was asked about this, she had a reaction that you wouldn't expect, or I guess you would for MAG. Let's take a look.
What do you think of Elon Musk, perhaps the president's most visible advisor, doing 2 Heil Hitler salutes last night at the president's televised rally?
No, Elon Musk did not do those salutes. I was not at the rally, but I can tell you I've been at many rallies with Elon Musk, who loves to cheer when President Trump says we need to send, our U.S. space program to Mars. Elon Musk is a visionary. I'm looking forward to his work in DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency, and look forward to looking how we can be more efficient and effective. But that is simply not the case. And to say so is the American people are smart. They see through it. They support Elon Musk. We are proud to be the country of such successful entrepreneurs. That is one of our greatest strengths as Americans.
So let me share with you what a few Americans have said about it. Evan Kilgore, a right-wing political commentator, wrote on X, "Holy crap, did Elon Musk just Heil Hitler at the Trump inauguration rally? This is incredible. We are so back." Andrew Torba, who's the founder of the right-wing Christian nationalist social platform Gab, said incredible things are happening as he amplified the visual. The Proud Boys chapter in Ohio posted the clip on a Telegram channel with the text "Heil Trump." A chapter of the white nationalist group White Lives Matter posted it on Telegram. "Thanks for hearing us, Elon. The white flame will rise again." I could keep going. Over and over last night, white supremacist groups and neo-Nazi groups in this country rallied around that visual. Does it concern you that those elements of the neo-Nazi and white supremacist element in the United States believe that what they saw last night was a neo-Nazi salute?
What concerns me is these are the questions you believe are most important to ask to the UN ambassador. I have a very strong record when it comes to combating anti-Semitism. We just had a historic election where President Trump earned historic support from American voters because of his strong leadership combating anti-Semitism, which has been a scourge across the country, skyrocketing since October 7th. So I intend to bring moral clarity to this position and continue to speak out as a voice, as a beacon of light, condemning anti-Semitism at the United Nations, which is representative of President Trump's record and President Trump's promises that he made on the campaign trail.
You are right. These are the questions I choose to ask because I think that your work and the administration's work on anti-Semitism only comes with real impact and credibility if it holds both right and left accountable. I simply don't believe that if a member of the squad made that same gesture last night, that there wouldn't be commentary from you and others. So I want to make sure that our work has credibility, and credibility comes with calling anti-Semitism and anti-Semitism behavior out when it comes from both the right and the left.
Once again, these religious values don't really seem to matter to MAGA when they involve Donald Trump. Now, Elon Musk or any of the disgraceful actions they take on a daily basis. It is not anti-Semitism for Elon Musk to throw up a Nazi salute. Then what is Elise Stefanik? What is this capitulation? I know this is MAGA. This is what they do. They are going to do crazy stuff in front of us and then say, don't believe your lying eyes. That didn't actually happen in an effort to flood the zone, in an effort to distract, in an effort to just make the country feel bad. That's what this is about. They want to dissuade us from caring. They want there to be so much that makes us upset every single day that we cannot even continue to focus. And clearly, some Democrats are not allowing that to happen. They're calling it out. They're shutting it down. And one of those Democrats in that same hearing with Stefanik today was Senator Tim Kaine, who had this to say.
Are there any Democratic senators that you think are for open border and mass amnesty for illegal undocumented?
Well, I would point out that Democratic think tanks and rhetorics have talked
I'm asking about senators. Any Democratic senators you would level that charge against?
I think there are Democrat senators who have supported open borders. What I was doing is clarifying when you pointed out a headline from an article.
Not a headline, a quote of yours.
Which was related to border security, and we just had an overwhelming popular vote for President Trump where border security was top of the mind.
Well,
I think it's important to note, I do stand by my rhetoric standing up for strong borders, and the American people overwhelmingly support that. Related to your question related to Haiti.
My time is over, so let me just conclude and say this. When I've been on this committee and in the Senate, I was part of a bipartisan deal that put $46 billion of border security on the table that the House Republican majority killed, and another deal that put $25 billion of border security on the table in 2018 that President Trump killed. And I was just part of a bipartisan deal in the last year that was significant about bipartisan border security on the border that President Trump killed. The notion that Democratic senators are for open borders and allowing illegal aliens to vote is a fantasy. And so I really appreciate the opportunity to meet with you. But now I have questions about if you'd fall for a fantasy. I'm going to have that to ponder that, and I yield back, Mr. Chair.
Hold their own words against them. Please continue to do this. Continue to call them out. Do not allow MAGA to say what you saw was not actually real, what you believe isn't actually true. We're going to twist and turn and misshape the information. I talked about this with the senator we saw in the previous clip, Senator Chris Murphy, about what MAGA is doing with the CEOs around them. It's not just benefiting the richest people in the history of the world, which sure they do, but the reason that Donald Trump has picked those CEOs in particular are because they control our information. Google, TikTok, Mie with Instagram and Facebook, of course Elon with Twitter. He wants to muddy the waters and shape his narrative with his tech buddies who will control our information, and we have to push back against that, and we're going to be doing so every single day on this show. And if you want to support that, as always, you can hit that subscribe button. You can leave a like on this video, and if you're stuck around at the end, you can drop blue heart in the comments. And until next time, I'll see you soon.